Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Inside Taiwan. I'm Melvin Tam. President Ma Ying-jeou will visit several of the Republic of China's Central American and Caribbean allies in mid-August. During his trip, Ma will attend the inauguration of Paraguayan President-elect Horacio Garces. The president is also expected to visit 3 of the ROC's Caribbean allies. Ma will stop over in New York for the first time since entering office.
President Ma Ying-jeou will visit the Republic of China's sole remaining Central American ally, Paraguay, next month and attend the nation's presidential inauguration. The announcement of the state visit comes amidst reports that Paraguay is seeking closer economic and trade ties with China. Ma will also visit 3 of the ROC's Caribbean allies, including St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Kitts and Nevis during his trip abroad. St. Lucia has an area of 616 square kilometers and a population of 170,000, while St. Vincent and the Grenadines covers an area of 389 square kilometers and has a population of 105,000. The smallest of the 3, St. Kitts and Nevis, covers an area of 261 square kilometers, which is around the size of Taipei City, and has a population of 50,000, or 1/50th of Taipei's population. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has arranged for Ma to transit in New York, which will mark Ma's first time to New York since entering office. Analysts believe Ma may visit his alma mater, New York University, and meet with his former professor, Jerome Cohen, while in New York. Changes may still be made to Ma's itinerary depending on weather conditions. If the trip proceeds as scheduled, Ma will have visited all but 2 of the ROC's 23 allies, Haiti and Sao Tome and Principe, during his presidency.
Vice President Wu Dunyi attended a cross-strait chain retail conference as he was vigorously promoting the benefits of the cross-strait trade and services agreement. Many, however, such as Taiwan Democracy Watch and other organizations, expressed their opposition to the hasty approval of such agreement Tuesday morning in front of the Legislative Yuan. They also called on victimized businesses and workers to come together and protest against the government's actions.
A cross-strait chain retail conference invited Vice President Wu Dunyi to attend, who used the occasion to vigorously promote the benefits of the cross-strait trade and services agreement signed by the government. He emphasized that opening up the Taiwan economy to mainland Chinese capital in recent years created 6,771 job opportunities. The Vice President further used the opportunity to clarify misconceptions about the agreement by saying that opening Taiwan to mainland Chinese investment would not result in the loss of job opportunities in Taiwan to mainland Chinese workers. Although the government is pushing the trade and services agreement, civil groups such as Taiwan Democracy Watch came together in front of the Legislative Yuan this morning to protest hasty approval of the agreement. Many organizations have asked the government to carry out a full industry hearing and congressional review of the agreement. The organizations also announced the first wave of victims from the agreement, including beauty salons and 20 other primary industries, and urged victimized businesses and workers to come together to protest government actions.
On July 9th, Taipei Deputy Mayor Zhang Jing'e visited the site of the city's first completed urban renewal project. Zhang said he hopes the successful completion of this project will serve as a guide for the city's other 15 ongoing urban renewal projects.
Construction on this building complex, located on Section 6 of Roosevelt Road in Taipei, was completed several days ago after 3 years of work. On July 9th, the city's deputy mayor, Zhang Jing'e, accompanied by officials from the Department of Finance and other organizations, visited the site. This is Taipei city government's first completed public urban renewal project. Zhang said that although there was one resident who refused to cooperate with the project before it began, the city government followed regulations in tearing down the original buildings, which can be seen in these photos. Prior to the urban renewal project, there was a line of squat buildings next to a narrow alley. Now there are 2 buildings which are 14 and 18 stories tall. They are located on a plot of land which is 66% owned by the Taipei city government and the Ministry of Finance's National Property Administration. There are 118 residences located in the buildings, with 44 belonging to the Taipei city government and 3 to the National Property Administration. The remaining residences are divided among original residents and pre-sale buyers. They are scheduled to move in before the end of the year. Of the 44 residences belonging to the Taipei city government, 39 will be made available to middle and low-income households for lease. The Department of Finance says the city has an additional 15 urban renewal projects currently underway, and it hopes to complete them as soon as possible.
Surrogacy laws drafted by the Department of Health have been under review at the legislature for over 9 years. In the hopes of seeing progress, the DOH recently proposed the revisions to the Artificial Reproduction Act. The DOH will also be convening an experts conference in 2 weeks at earliest to discuss the feasibility of the revisions.
According to statistics, 1 out of every 6 couples in Taiwan struggles with fertility issues. As surrogacy is illegal in Taiwan, a rising percentage of couples are traveling abroad to hire surrogates. During a surrogacy review conference commissioned by the Bureau of Health Promotion in 2004, a consensus was reached to conditionally relax the ban on surrogacy in Taiwan for married couples with the ability to get pregnant. The draft restricted surrogates to Republic of China nationals and made it illegal for surrogates to be paid. However, civic groups say the terms of such arrangements pose ethical risks and that the ban on surrogacy cannot be lifted unless comprehensive supplementary measures are in place. The BHP, meanwhile, says it will convene an expert panel in 2 weeks at the earliest to discuss the feasibility of relevant revisions.
In order to encourage young students to experience the countryside, the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau of the Council of Agriculture of the Executive Yuan organized the Rural Migration Competition. The competition is now entering its 3rd year, and the Donghua University Millet Garden Society was selected to be one of the final 20 teams. The teams spent the summer among the Katsuga tribe, stooping over to do farm work while they experience how the tribals harvest rice, raises pigs, and performs other farm work.
After receiving instruction from the tribe under the hot sun, each student personally bends over to cut the rice plants or pull the rice cutting machine. The cut rice is then set off to be threshed and cleaned. The students also learn to tie straw. At the pig pen, students learn to cut sweet potato leaves, peel sweet potatoes, and feed the pigs using the tribe's traditional method of raising pigs that does not use any purchased pig feed. The Rural Migration Competition, organized by the Soil and Water Conservation Bureau of the Council of Agriculture of the Executive Yuan, is now entering its 3rd year. Out of 87 teams, the Donghua University Millet Garden Society was selected to be one of the final 20 teams. During the Rural Migration Competition, the teams will carry out tasks related to fieldwork, rural industry, conservation, cultural heritage preservation and maintenance, artistic creation, rural landscape beautification, merchandise design, creative marketing, and unused space reclamation. The most important goal is to help young people to understand the countryside and use their own creativity and expertise to assist in rural public affairs.
Luxury farmhouses that serve no agricultural purposes have been popping up all over Taiwan in recent years. And therefore, the Ministry of the Interior has amended the regulations governing agricultural dwelling houses to stipulate that the size of farmhouses cannot be less than 13 ping, and owners cannot renovate or expand the farmhouse within 5 years of its construction.
Luxury farmhouses are now a common sight in Taiwan, with owners taking advantage of loopholes in the law to build these residences, which serve no agricultural purposes. First, they apply for a permit to construct a farmhouse. After securing permission, they then apply to renovate and expand it into a luxury villa. Therefore, the Ministry of the Interior has amended the regulations governing agricultural dwelling houses to prohibit this type of behavior. The new regulations stipulate that the size of new farmhouses cannot be less than 13 ping, and owners cannot apply to renovate and expand the building within 5 years of its construction. In this way, the ministry hopes that farmhouses will once again serve agricultural purposes. Meanwhile, experts are worried about the protection of special agricultural zones. Current regulations prohibit the construction of cooperative farmhouses on special agricultural zones, although there are no limits on individual farmhouses. As for the controversial issues over qualifications for the building of farmhouses and whether their sizes should be limited, the Construction and Planning Agency says further discussion is needed. Experts responded by saying that the government should not allow farmland to be so easily developed.
The fourth largest veterinary pharmaceutical company in the world signed an investment agreement as well as several technical strategic cooperation agreements with the Council of Agriculture on July 8th. The agreements are expected to provide export distribution channels for domestic veterinary vaccine manufacturers and boost exports to 2.5 billion NT dollars.
The world's fourth largest animal vaccine company, Lohmann Animal Health, has signed an investment agreement to establish a regional animal vaccine research and production center at Pingdong Agricultural Biotechnology Park. Lohmann has also signed a series of technical strategic cooperation agreements with the Council of Agriculture. Lohmann is a world's leader in avian and poultry vaccines as well as feed additives. While Taiwan is competitive in the development and production of animal vaccines, it lacks global sales experience and distribution channels. The agreement is expected to help local enterprises overcome this bottleneck. The COA believes Lohmann's investment will boost technological transfer revenues to at least 50 million NT dollars, while raising export value from less than 100 million to 2.5 billion NT dollars.
Over the weekend, the Taipei Zoo's panda Yuan Yuan gave birth to a new baby panda. In order to ensure the baby's health, the zoo is using artificial feeding method. The baby is healthy and cries when it is hungry. The mother, however, continues to look for the baby in her pen and has lost almost all appetite.
Hand-fed by Taipei Zoo staff, this baby panda was born only a few days ago. The cute panda is healthy and cries very loudly when it is hungry. The zoo took the baby away from the mother and put it in an incubator to ensure that there were no complications. The mother, Yuan Yuan, however, has no appetite and continues to look for its baby. Zoo officials have tried giving the mother panda dolls with the baby's scent on them, but the mother cannot be fooled. After holding the dolls for a moment, she will quickly put them down again. The mother seems to be suffering from postpartum depression. Zoo officials stress that the week after a panda is born is a dangerous time, so it must take the precaution of artificial care and feeding, which is safer than letting the mother raise the baby. Yuan Yuan is exhausted. She has been through artificial insemination and the stress of being in the zoo and wants her baby returned so they can grow up in peace.
A lotus flower farmer in New Taipei City's Sanji district had previously switched to organic farming after the endangered Taipei grass frog was found in his ponds. Recently, researchers found that the frog population had fallen sharply in his farm.
Lotus flowers are currently in bloom, and therefore each morning the farmer goes to his ponds to pick flowers to sell in Taipei. More than a decade ago, environmentalists persuaded him to switch to organic farming after the endangered Taipei grass frog was found in his ponds. As a result, the population grew, with over 100 spotted during one night in 2003. However, the population abruptly started dropping in 2004. Reasons include the public catching frogs, as well as pollution in the upper reaches of the creek that flows into the field. The Taipei grass frog population has not yet recovered. Meanwhile, its habitat is also under attack, as many fields in Sanji district are fallow or facing droughts. Therefore, researchers have begun captive breeding programs and also call for return to rice paddies.
阿姨
Hello. Maybe some more Taiwanese tea.
金条奖它不只是一个说有奖金让你练习这样的一个机会，除了这个之外， 华人在世界上很多，你自己个人的故事或感动的故事，我觉得就是很值得分享给其他地区的华人看。
比较惊喜的是，其实不只是入围前3强，我觉得有几个比较特别的创意奖或等等，其实它都让我们看到他们说故事的能力。
金桥奖是一块丰美的土壤，多年来无数作品在这块园地里获得鼓励与灌溉，无数创作者在这片土地中得以成长与茁壮。
我就是很 proud，台湾可以给我这个奖啊，我很 proud to be Taiwanese。
爸爸是他家族的黑羊，唯一一个逃家。
每一则影像都是一个最深情的故事，流动着思乡的情感，
因为战乱的关系，
追寻着旧时光的遗迹。
您好，请慢慢看。
有中西文化冲击的力道，一道一道的生命响宴，透过影像跃然呈现。2013年，金桥奖翩然登场。本次将以华人光点在全球为主题，透过摄影机，透过宏观数位媒体平台，让全世界聚焦华人光点，看见平凡角落里最不平凡的故事。金桥奖，台湾与世界的交流，文化与创意的发想。2013年3月1日起活动开跑，详情请见宏观数位媒体网站，邀请您一起加入。
Welcome back to Inside Taiwan. I'm Melvin Tim. In the wake of Xie Shui's historic victory at Wimbledon, reports have surfaced that China is wooing the tennis player. Similar reports circulated after Randy Lu's Wimbledon run in 2010, and pool player Wu Jiaqing has already become a People's Republic of China citizen. On July 9th, Legislative Yuan President Wang Jinping and Education Minister Jiang Weining hosted a banquet for more than 30 potential corporate sponsors, hoping to raise funds for local athletes.
Legislative Yuan President Wang Jinping hosted a banquet for 30 industry heavyweights, including Far Eastern Group Chairman Douglas Hsu and Uni President CEO Lin Cangshen on July 9th. Education Minister Jiang Weining was also present. Wang hosted a similar dinner for potential corporate sponsors at the end of May and received many pledges for sponsorship dollars that never came to fruition. On July 9th, 4 attendees pledged 200 million NT dollars for a sports fund. According to the Ministry of Education, the fund will also be used to help athletes secure lecturer positions at universities after retiring.
In response to reports that China has offered Xie Shui a 10 million renminbi endorsement, Taiwan Tobacco and Liquor Corporation said it would invite Xie to become its spokesperson in exchange for an endorsement of 5 million NT dollars.
Throughout its history, Taiwan Tobacco and Liquor Corporation has engaged many celebrities as spokespersons. TTLC now has its sights set on Wimbledon champion Xie Shuwei and hopes that an endorsement would keep Xie in Taiwan. According to the corporation, Xie would attend TTLC events and wear hats and tennis apparel bearing TTLC's corporate logo if she accepts the endorsement. Xie's father previously told the media that endorsements of 45 million NT dollars for Xie's sister and brother would keep the family in Taiwan. TTLC is therefore preparing to offer a sponsorship of 45 million NT dollars, but has denied reports that it will also subsidize training fees for Xie's siblings.
On July 8th, Minister without portfolio Yang Qiuxing revealed that the Honghai Group is willing to sponsor table tennis player Zhang Zhiyuan, which would allow him to train younger players. Honghai will first purchase equipment for Zhang and later offer an 8-figure sponsorship.
桌球毕竟我感觉是 一个在国际上很能够跟大家竞争的一个项目，就是非常好的一个项目了。那就是当然是希望大家可以每个企业可以这样来支持我们。
World Table Tennis Championship doubles champion Zhang Zhiyuan has been openly critical of corporate sponsors for failing to financially support the next generation of table tennis players. On July 8th, Minister without portfolio Yang Chouxing announced that Honghai intends to sponsor Zhang's table tennis academy. According to Yang, Honghai will initially provide equipment and facilities. A Honghai spokesperson further said details of the sponsorship have not yet been finalized, but the group intends to provide the most professional and advanced training equipment available. Financial resources, meanwhile, will be provided over a longer-term basis. In response, Zhang's mother said there has been no formal communication between the two sides and that any sponsorship dollars received would be used to foster the next generation of table tennis players.
A delegation made up of 46 members of the Victoria Police Football Club and the Victoria Asian Football Federation is currently in Taiwan for a 5-day visit from Australia. Stops on their itinerary included the National Police Agency, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, National Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, and the Overseas Community Affairs Council.
The delegation, made up of members of the Victoria Police Football Club and the Victoria Asian Football Federation, shook hands and exchanged gifts with the representatives from the Overseas Community Affairs Council, including Deputy Minister Ren Hong. The Australian delegation said they had been very impressed by the warmth and hospitality of the Taiwan public. During their 5-day stay in Taiwan, they visited the National Police Agency to exchange ideas with their Taiwanese counterparts, and also traveled to popular tourist attractions such as Jiufen or National Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, where they spoke with the honor guard. Also on the itinerary are 2 friendly matches with Mingchen University's football team. The delegation was led by OCAC Commissioner Liu Guochang, who will also assist a delegation that will visit 6 cities in Australia and New Zealand in September to promote Chinese culture.
On June 25th, the Council of Agriculture opened up an online poll to select the top 10 most representative rice dishes by city or county in an effort to promote rice and locally sourced food. Currently, Kaohsiung's Jade Purse Lychee sausage rice is in first place with 34,000 votes. However, many Kaohsiung residents said they have never heard of this dish and therefore conclude that it cannot represent the city.
Kaohsiung's Agriculture Bureau invented this dish, which combines deep-fried sausage, jade purse lychee wine and pulp, and rice. All of the ingredients are locally sourced. The sausage was made using the meat of the Taiwan black pig, while the rice is the Kaohsiung No. 147 variety grown in Meinong. As for the jade purse lychee, Kaohsiung accounts for 70% of the national output, and the Bureau says no other city or county could compare with the quantity and quality. This dish is currently in first place in the Council of Agriculture's online poll to select the top 10 most representative rice dishes by city or county, having received over 34,000 votes. It has a wide lead over Jiayi's mullet roe fried rice. However, many Kaohsiung residents said they have never heard of this dish. The Agriculture Bureau responded that because all of the ingredients are locally sourced, this dish is very representative of the city and therefore suitable for this vote. This also shows that many times innovative dishes are met with suspicion from the public, and therefore the city government should work harder to promote it so that it can gain wider acceptance.
Recent unbearable hot weather has caused cows to lose their appetite, leading to reduced milk yield. In order to increase production, Yuling dairy farmers are spending more to erect large cooling fans and sprinkler systems, hoping it will result in refreshed cows with more appetite and greater milk yield.
Large fans blow cooling air while spraying machines pump out water mist. Yunlin's dairy farmers are finding ways to lower the temperature for their cows. The cows are from temperate countries and have no sweat glands. Recent hot weather has made the cows stop eating and greatly reduced the amount of their natural lactation. The cattle industry pointed out that the cows from temperate countries need temperatures between 25 and 28 degrees, but recent weather has exceeded 35 degrees. In the past, a cow could produce 25 liters of milk a day, but now has a maximum of 20 liters. This is coupled with the steadily rising cost of electricity and feed, making total dairy farmer costs rise substantially. The industry has further said that milk sales increase in the summer, but due to the hot weather, milk production will decrease about 20%. In order to increase milk production, the farmers are forced to use fans and water mist sprayers to restore the cow's appetite and mitigate their losses.
In an effort to pass down traditional preservation techniques, the Meinong Farmers Association has organized fermented bean curd production courses, and it helps to introduce students to the traditional natural preservation methods used in the past, especially in the light of the recent toxic starch scandal.
Sliced tofu cubes are placed inside the jar, and then a mixture of granulated sugar and red rice yeast is added. The bean curd will then ferment at room temperature for 4 months. The students, who have an average age of 60, work carefully and precisely. They know that many foods nowadays are preserved using large amounts of chemical additives, and therefore this method, which only uses sugar and salt as natural preservatives, makes them feel at ease. This fermented bean curd production course was organized by the Meinong Farmers Association in an effort to pass down the preservation techniques of forebears. The association reminds the public that the majority of fermented foods are salty, as salt is used as a preservative, and therefore large amounts should not be consumed in one sitting.
1919年的台北啤酒工厂是台湾唯一横跨传统与现代的啤酒厂，也是台湾啤酒的发源地。1960年开始扩建改良设备，最高年产量曾达到1200多万打。台湾啤酒更多次得到国际啤酒大赛的大奖，打响台湾雄青的美誉。台北啤酒工厂在2000年经过台北市政府指定为第95号古迹，保留全国最重要的啤酒产业文化资产，并朝建立啤酒文化园区的方向迈进。
博二艺术特区是高雄当代艺术展览的新亮点。过去，它是储存进出口民生物资的重要仓库，也曾有盛极一时的拆船行业。让我们从这个区域窥见高雄的过去、现在与未来。
Welcome back, and here's a look at the current event calendar. And that concludes today's Inside Taiwan. I'm Melvin Tim. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.